Hi, I'm Kirsten and this is Quirky Queen's Journals. I have made a couple of master boards today. So I've been thinking a lot about the junk journaling and how what I really see it as is an extension of like collage art, which I love, and I love abstract art, using both collage and acrylic paints. So what I did was I had a couple of, now this book was kind of like almost like newsprint material. There's no glossiness or coating feeling to it at all. A bit like just a normal paperback would have. So for all it's very thin paper, it's quite absorbent. So I put some, oh, I forgot my words. I put some watercolour onto this, so I've done that with these two here. You can see here it's just like little rectangles that I've made with blue and green watercolours, and the same here, it's blue and green. So I was just messing about to see what the watercolours would look like how they would react. Could I actually use this book paper for watercolours? I did that. And then I thought, right, let's put some of these AliExpress stickers on it. And then I thought, right, okay. So what I did was I put them on in a way where I wasn't putting them on top of these rectangles. I was kind of putting them around it. And then what I did was I got gesso and white paint with, and I think this had a bit of the bronze in it. I'm not sure. This is the sort of colour it was anyway there. You can see it there. So I put, sorry, I should say that I Mod Podged once I put the stickers on and the watercolour on. Then I put on the sort of the gesso and paint mixture. But I put it on in a way, it was almost like I was framing. And then what I was doing was, I was using my fingers, but then I started using a cloth because I thought, well, be here, you know, I'm always getting covered in the paint, so I started just using this old rag to do it. And then I got out some more of the raw umber and yellow ochre watercolours and put that around. So I feel like I've created a nice kind of blurred effect around the stickers, and it's made them, because it's harder to see where the begin and end and it's all blurred together, it looks quite cohesive. And I've stuck this stuff on the back. This is a Pep and Dutch Tiles book, and this was a mandala book that I'd made on Amazon KDP, which, you know, I never actually sold any of, I don't think. But anyway, so so my idea is I thought, well, these will actually be, you know, good for tearing apart to add as embellishments. But what I'm doing with this particular one actually is I'm putting it in my vintage style journal. I've already got my place for it. I just got it out for you, and it's going right here, because I actually think that having that in here will be a good addition, because it means that the more you want to do it, you've already got a wee something here to work with. So that's the plan for that one. This one I made slightly differently, because obviously as you go through the process you try and build up a system that's more efficient basically. So I've been a bit over the score with this one. This one looks like it's been sitting out and had a good sunburn. Basically so I did the same, the watercolour, then I got, it was pages out of a cookbook. And what I did was I tore out the pages that had the sort of like bits of herbs or wee wicker baskets or something, just more kind of neutral ones, and I put them on. Then I Mod Podged the whole thing, and then I put on that gesso and white paint mixture with the, I think it's bronze that's in it. Put that round strategically. And then I just tore some wild flowers out of a book, put them on, And then what I did was I made up some yellow oxide and burnt umber. I think the burnt umber is why it looks, instead of using raw umber, I've used burnt umber, and I think that's why it's got this more, it looks overdone. But the raw umber I'm running out of, so I'm trying to reduce my usage of it. Anyway, so I used some of them just round about, and then I used my blender. I'm going to have none of these blender sticky on bits left, but it spread it about really easily, so I didn't actually use a lot of these paints. And then I thought I'll try the acrylic ink, and I just put a couple of spots of that onto here, and then I spread that about. This is wet. I wet it first before I did that and spread it about. I think actually if it had been less wet I would have had more control of it as well. So anyway, after that very long explanation, I am going to make one with you. Now I was thinking of using this purple and yellow one because I wanted to see what would happen with more vibrant colours. Because purple is, because back in the day they couldn't really make purple. Purple was a kind of a colour that, you know, only the aristocracy and the elite and the very rich could have. So I thought, right, I'm going to give that a try. So we'll see what happens with that. All I did was, I mean, I think as well you could put this stuff on with a stencil, or you could use your jelly prints. I think you could use lots of things as the base, but I just wanted to try and have something that wasn't just the book pages, because I think having that in there, not only does it look better when it's done, I think as well that when you're putting the sticker, this is a vellum page from one of these AliExpress books. These do not like to be wet at all. They just don't. The Pritt Stick is about as far as you should go with them. They don't stick in the warp as soon as the wet glue touches them. But yeah, I just think having these wee bits in the background, just, it helps when you're putting it together. It's almost like having a guide. So we'll get started with this one. I'm going to also, I know I used the AliExpress stickers for the first one, but really my ideal is to be able to use pictures out of books, because these cost money, and usually they're your things that you want to keep to use, you know, to highlight something as a focal point. But I'd rather use the book pages and then try and vintage them up ourselves. So see, this book here has got no value. You'll buy this in a charity shop or in, what's this? Campsie Construction Limited. See the stuff you find in these books? So yeah, so you want to be using these books. So I'm going to go this one. Some lovely pictures. So I'm going to try and use a lot of the greenery and maybe some of this as well, because that'll probably go quite well with that. Okay. So what I'm doing as well is I'm tearing all the edges, because it's easier to blend a torn edge than it is to blend a non-torn edge. I'm just putting these wherever I feel like. When it comes to the, you know, the raw umber and the yellow ochre colours that I think really lend themselves to the vintage effect, you know, you don't generally get those colours in a basic paint set. So I would, here we go, that'll let that dry. I mean, red, blue and yellow mixed together should make brown. but it's a hard thing to achieve, and it's hard to achieve the shade of brown that you're looking for, but there's nothing wrong with experimenting and just trying. It's one of those things that the more you do it, you'll get better at. And you can buy, what I've done is I've bought big paint sets, but there's actually only certain colours that I use out of them. So when I go back to buy the paints, I'm going to buy these colours separately, right? Now you could probably do this without Mod Podging first. This is just the wee system that I've put together. I like the feel. I think it feels, it makes it more crinkly. And I just think it makes it more robust, and it just makes it nicer to work with. So the Mod Podge is dry, and I have started putting some of this is just a gesso, burnt umber and yellow oxide mixture that I've put together. So you put this on, and I basically just go around the edges, because you're going to kind of rub it in, but it's finding the right time to rub it in, because you want to let it dry slightly so that it does somewhat stay where you've put it. But if you let it over dry, you're not going to get time. It's not going to move around for you. So, and obviously when you use your wee rag, it's, you know, it's not going to come back off this. I just do kind of circular motions. Because the Mod Podge is on as well, if it does dry completely in with a bit of pressure, you can slightly pull it back off. You've got to think about, see, I've got wee circular motions there, and it's not ideal because it's not the way a natural aging process would happen. See, I've let this wee corner here dry too much. I'm having to put a lot of pressure on to get it moving. But it's okay to have bits where it's dried more than others. See, that's quite a sharp line, but on this one here, I've got quite a few wee sharp lines, and I quite like them actually. It just adds to it. Now you do this like when you're making paintings on the canvas, you do this because you're kind of muting. It's almost like you put on to take away sometimes. That's quite a white bit there. I want to just cover that and mute that down. Yeah, a lot of it's about putting the paint down and then taking it away, and you do that with the collage as well. Like when you're making the junk journals, when you put a piece of paper down and then you take that you cover up an edge of that piece of paper, or when you tear that piece of paper to put it on, that's you putting it on to take it away, because you're distorting the picture that was there originally, or the colour or whatever it was. Right, I found this Guide to Gems and Jewellery. There, I'm going to use some of the purple ones. Amethyst. These are very thin pages. So again, I tear them in all directions, all sides. And then when I put these down, I want to try and place them between what's already there. Right. So I really want to take all the whiteness away. Last step, the Mod Podge. Okay, so that's it all dry now. It didn't work out as well as these two. I think I've just had less care and attention, and to be honest with you, I've not got the gesso and paint mix right, and it's left, the paint marks that I've left with are too heavy. But anyway, I was going to use a bit on the journal, and I was going to use it on this here, so the fruity page, and I was going to use the orange ring because that just seemed to fit in well with the oranges that are already in it. Not even sure I want to tear this corner off, but I will. Not really sure it needs, it's just to get any wee white bits when I've torn it, basically. To be honest with you, I'm not sure that there is any. There you go. Just trying to work out where I want to put it. I think with this paper clip actually there's quite a lot going on. I might move that. I think I'll go for here. But I'll just use the pit stick just now, but I'll come back with the matte medium and do it. I'm going to put something else here as well. That'll be flower, I think. Oh, I think we should go for that. Or maybe this pink one actually. There you go. And obviously you can use them to make clusters and you know, on journaling cards and stuff as well, to embellish, you know, to build up. And I'm keeping this one intact because I'm wanting to keep that in the, as part of this, to then be used at a later date. In here. So I hope you enjoyed the masterboards, and that's it for just now, and I hope to see you soon, and take care.